Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. Keeping an eye on the wildfire data.
Forecasting and predictions are really hard for us to do, and so that's where we're still learning.
The Great Lakes Forestry Center says it's looking to learn amidst the emergency. Plus, the province is stepping in to help with flood recovery.
After what they saw, there was no doubt that we were one of the few municipalities that qualified.
There's still questions, however, about the offer to help those affected. And Cap paper and campus casing has turned a financial corner.
Getting to here was difficult. It was a lot of work.
And while cash positive, current market conditions has some warning caution.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Tony Rima with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Hundreds of wildfires still rage across Ontario, and researchers at the Sault's Great Lakes Forestry Center are keeping a close eye on the newest data. As CTV's Corey Nordstrom tells us, their research is helping shape the future of fire response.
As of this morning, nearly 200 wildfires were being fought across the province.
56 of those are still considered not under control. 112 are being observed, and 6 are being held, and 16 are under control.
Fire research scientists from the Great Lakes Forestry Center say Ontario has been busy, but has not seen an unprecedented number of fires, a similar case across the country.
When we look at the area burned in Canada, it's about 3 million hectares as of this morning. And that's only a little bit above the average from the last, let's call it 15 years or so.
What is far from average is some of the intensity seen in parts of the Northwest, typically more common in places like British Columbia and Alberta.
Really exceptionally big fire growth, about as big as and as fast as fires ever grow. Some of these fires are going 40 kilometers in a day, 40 linear kilometers, sort of from start to end, over about 24-hour period.
Studying and tracking these fires has provided invaluable data that Thompson says will be made available to incident management teams and municipalities to better protect Ontarians during wildfire season.
My job is to help build those tools so that people on the ground can do a better job of forecasting and getting people out of the way and putting those fires out eventually, getting people back into their homes. And when we hit new record temperatures in a part of the world, well, we just haven't seen that before. So forecasting and predictions are really hard for us to do. And so that's where we're still learning.
Thompson says they've observed a slow drying in the forest and a normal number of fires across the region. Unless rain like this persists, he expects August could see an increase in fire danger. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
The latest update from the Ministry of Natural Resources has 43 active wildland fires in the Northeast, 5 not under control. They add one of the bigger ones is Wawa 17, where crews are continuing to make progress. Located roughly 15 kilometers northeast of Pic-Mobert and east of White Lake, helipads have been established to facilitate access. It's a little more than 37 hectares in size. Over in the Northwest, there are 2 new fires tonight. It brings that region's total to 140, with 47 not under control. Premier Ford, along with the Ministers of Natural Resources and Emergency Preparedness, providing this update to the media earlier today.
You know, we talk about sort of 155, 156 crews. Just to put that into context, that's well over 700 people. So there's usually about 4 to 5 people on a crew. So it seems like a bit of a small number, but we're talking about almost 1,000 fire rangers. These are the folks who actually get out there and are on the front lines running hose through the bush, fighting those fires.
Global Medic, we delivered actually N95 masks to Thunder Bay when we were up last week. They're doing hygiene kits. Red Cross is setting up the evacuation center for us in Thunder Bay. That's for communities like Collins First Nation and Armstrong, who are unincorporated communities, so they have a place to go as well.
A number of host cities, including Thunder Bay, Sudbury, Barrie, Toronto, and Niagara Falls, are offering temporary accommodations for people displaced by the wildfires, and relief organizations are offering assistance in Northern Ontario. The Premier says he wants to sit down with the Prime Minister to discuss a national firefighting strategy. In other news, Hearst Power says a lightning strike was behind a historic outage in the community over the weekend. Lightning struck electrical infrastructure on Gilles Street, causing catastrophic damage in the LaCour Trailer Park area Friday night. It required the complete replacement and reconstruction of critical equipment before service could be restored. Officials say this led to the longest sustained customer Hearst Power outage documented in more than 35 years, 64 hours in total. The provincial government has activated disaster recovery assistance for areas that were heavily impacted by flooding conditions in the spring, including Sudbury, French River, Burkes Falls, and Armour Township. CTV's Madison Merrier has reaction.
In April, areas across the north experienced severe flooding due to rainfall and snowmelt accumulation. Parts of Greater Sudbury were hit hard.
People were really impacted by this, and so it had a devastating effect for a lot of households. That because for some they've never qualified for flooding insurance, and so for them, the cost of rebuilding or certainly renovating the parts that had been flooded was quite extensive.
Some communities in Northern Ontario have qualified for provincial financial assistance for primary residences and businesses that sustained damages.
We weren't the only municipality affected by these floods. As we know, there was others in the province. That's why I think there was a delay.
In May, we had a team from the province come to inspect our area to see if indeed we qualified. And after what they saw, there was no doubt that we were one of the few municipalities that qualified. So now the fund is activated.
It's not designed as a replacement for insurance or as a replacement for any other kind of assistance. It's basically to help people like us put our homes back together so that we can move back into them.
The disaster relief funding requires a list of forms before individual situations can be assessed. After that, the funding is provided on a case-by-case scenario. The Pappins are a local family who hope to receive this support.
We're happy it was activated. I'm a little sorry it took that long, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing, and it probably will take, I'm imagining, a couple of weeks, if not a few months, to receive the actual funds, but that's okay. If you know it's in the pipeline, then that's the important thing.
We spoke to the French River Supply Post, who told CTV News off camera they have their doubts about the funding for businesses. But the mayor of French River says the municipality will be putting together some information to help community members better understand the financial support requirements. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Sault Ste. Marie police seized more than $10,000 in drugs and cash. Police say the result was of a search warrant executed on Fauquier Avenue. A 31-year-old man is facing charges of trafficking after police say they found more than 100 grams of cocaine along with oxycodone. Meanwhile, Sudbury police netted drugs, cash, and a weapon during a traffic stop Sunday. Police say a caller reported a motorcyclist nodding off while driving. Police found the driver and say the 54-year-old man did poorly on a field sobriety check. Yeah, he was arrested and searched, leading to police finding cocaine and fentanyl among other drugs, as well as a collapsible baton. Greater Sudbury has been cleared on charges laid under the Occupational Health and Safety Act by an appeals court. In 2022, an employee from CK Construction was seriously injured after the elevated platform he was working on tipped over during repairs to the silos in the city's flour mill area. According to court documents, the platform's wheel sunk into an old drinking fountain service box, causing it to fall over. Well, the city had been found guilty at trial. The appeals court judge ruled there wasn't enough evidence to support the verdict. In Kapuskasing, Cap Paper has turned a financial page, but as CTV's Lydia Chubak tells us, the community's leader remains cautious about the state of the forestry industry.
Full example of what can be achieved when business.
Kapuskasing Mayor Dave Plourde says Cap Paper is no longer losing money and is now generating enough cash to fund its own operations. He says getting to this point required a lot of work from employees, management, and government partners.
Well, because, things can change very drastically. And so I think that, it's getting to here was difficult. It was a lot of work. But we have to remain cash positive. And in the world that we live in today, things change rapidly, and I think it's important to be cautious.
Plourde says the mill is still producing newsprint, but the company is looking to transition to a different product used in the building and housing sectors. He says changes in the paper market have helped improve the company's position.
Markets have changed, and probably through a combination of mill closures elsewhere and rising paper prices and people working really hard at the facility to change where we are today, and I think that's a huge step forward, and I think that we have to continue to do that until such time as we're able to pivot to MDF.
Plourde says more details about the transition are expected in the coming months. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Amanda will have our full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions, and we are at the start of what's going to be a very wet Tuesday. We're starting to see some systems move its way into Sault Ste. Marie, Parry Sound, moving off the Great Lakes, 20 in Kapuskasing, 16 in Timiskaming Shores. We'll have details coming up after the break.
Welcome back from the break. Happy Monday. If you've had enough of all the humidity that we've been seeing over the past week or so, this forecast is for you. We're going to see temperatures dropping below seasonal over the next couple days, but you will want to have an umbrella for sure. We've got a chance of showers throughout the region. Tuesday continuing into Wednesday. By the time Thursday rolls around, that's when things start to change and we start to see some sunshine on tap for the region. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 19. Chance of showers on Wednesday, but then by the time Thursday rolls around, we're getting to 25 degrees with sunny skies. Chance of showers to start the weekend on Friday and a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of showers for tomorrow, high of 18. Back-to-back sunshine Wednesday into Thursday, getting up to 24. Seasonal for this time of year. Chance of showers on Friday with some sunny breaks there and cloudy skies rolling in on Saturday. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 17, so it is getting a little bit cooler out there. Chance of showers on Wednesday, but then by the time Thursday rolls around, we get up to 25, so we get to the normal for this time of year with a chance of showers, and that continues throughout the rest of the week. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 21. Chance of showers on Wednesday and continuing into Thursday and Friday. Saturday, we've got some cloudy skies rolling through the region, high of 23, and a chance of showers on Sunday. And finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow, high of 22. Chance of showers on Wednesday. Grab those sunglasses for Thursday. Sunny skies, high of 25. Looks like a beautiful day out there. Friday, chance of showers, high of 26. And then we're holding on to seasonal for the rest of this week. Saturday, we've got some more sunshine on the way, some cloudy breaks as well, and then a chance of showers to close out the weekend on Sunday, sitting at 25. So Ian, you're going to want to keep your umbrella handy over the next couple days, but we will see some sunshine, so that's good news. Sending it back to you.
That's great news. Thanks, Amanda. Well, North Bay police are urging cyclists to take extra precaution in protecting their bicycles. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
North Bay police have issued a news release saying there were 2 overnight thefts at local hotels where the victim's vehicle-mounted bike rack lock was cut and 2 bicycles were stolen. Police are encouraging cyclists to not leave their bike unattended on a vehicle overnight, record the bike's serial number and take a current picture of it to help ID it if it is stolen, and report any suspicious activity involving bicycles or bike racks to local police.
As you can see, there's an array of locks.
Barry Kluss, the owner of Cheapskate's sporting goods store, recommends bicycle owners use a sturdy lock to protect their bike from theft.
There's different levels of locks you can buy, but you got to spend some money to get, some really solid locks that'll be difficult to get into. People that don't lock their vehicles are going to get their car ransacked. People that don't lock their bikes, there's a good chance they'll be gone.
This all comes during peak tourism season and packed hotels. Police recommend travelers ask hotel reception if bikes are permitted inside your room. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Timmins City Council has approved $150,000 from the municipal accommodations tax and funding for the Mount Jamieson Resort.
For the construction of a new operations garage and installation of a magic carpet conveyor lift system from the Municipal Accommodation Tax Fund Category 2 benefit our residents.
Any discussion? I see none. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion's carried.
Council passing the motion unanimously. Mount Jamieson coming off a banner year, having rebranded itself from Kamuskosha Snow Resort. There was also a lot of snow to be enjoyed. Fednor Minister Patty Hajdu also recently pledging $420,000 for the resort's conveyor-style lift. Nawsum University in Sudbury received a gift today to help keep doctors here in the north. The school will be getting $225,000 over the next 3 years from Agnico Eagle Mines. With doctor shortages across the region, the money is intended to boost the school's recruitment resources that support local initiatives already in place, showing potential students the benefits of living, learning, and working in Northern Ontario. We're learning about more expenses from a former minister in hot water for billing taxpayers for luxury hotel stays in Toronto, where he lives. As CTV's John Woodward reports, record show Stan Show was using his political donors' money to eat at luxury restaurants and stays in hotels from Ontario to Alberta.
Toronto's Albany Club bills itself as Canada's preeminent club for conservative-minded leaders. And former Ontario Tourism Minister Stan Cho must have felt very like-minded. He spent more than $9,000 there on food, beverage, and catering in 3 years. The money was from donations to his constituency association and also from the public per-vote subsidy the association gets. His approved expenses over 3 years included more than $10,000 to Nome Izakaya Japanese Tapas Bar, more than $16,000 to the Sher-e-Punjab restaurant. All in, his food and beverage expenses added up to about $100,000.
He's living a life of the rich and famous, not only on the taxpayer dime, but on his supporters' dime.
Cho already submitted his resignation to the Premier after news he'd billed for hotel stays in Toronto, where he lives. But he billed his constituency for more trips. Cho spent more than $6,000 on airfare and $12,000 on hotels, including stays at the Fairmont Chateau Laurier in Ottawa and the Rimrock Resort in Banff. One hotel he billed for, the Clock Tower Inn, is only about a 3-hour drive away. The NDP's Marit Stiles also making an Integrity Commissioner complaint about Brampton MPP Hardeep Singh Grewal, whose constituency association spent money on an ad buy in his father's newspaper.
All of those MPPs and ministers that have filed these outrageous expenses, do they still have the confidence of this Premier? And I will say, for me, the rot starts at the top.
The Premier condemning the older hotel expenses.
They're all paying it back, and it's unacceptable. If you guys think for a second I'm happy about this, you're wrong. It's unacceptable. They're all paying it back. Simple as that.
But not addressing questions about Cho's newly discovered constituency expenses or saying whether Cho should stay on as an MPP. Other PC MPPs that billed the taxpayer for hotels have promised to repay their expenses, but so far appear to be keeping their jobs. John Woodward, CTV News.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. The Cubs might be out of the NOJHL season, but another team is looking forward to its comeback. We'll have more in a moment. The NOJHL has launched its new schedule, and while it will have to fill a hole left by the Sudbury Cubs, it'll be welcoming the Elliott Lake Vikings back to the league. The Vikings will be back after an absence that stretched almost 2 seasons. Its owner decided to step away from the league after Elliott Lake's home arena had to close due to structural concerns, and traveling back and forth to neighboring arenas became too difficult. There will be a new man behind the bench this year who tells CTV News he's looking forward to life in the North with a team they've rebuilt from the ground up.
Talking to some coaches who have been reputable, who have some very strong teams. I mean, one guy said he only had eight returning players. So I do feel that there's a time where every year we are having to recruit a large number of players to come back. I think the years of the 2-3 year commitment from players is a little bit few and far between. So I don't think we're in any different boat than any other teams.
The Vikings' first game will be on the road this year, September 12th, facing off in Blind River against the Beavers. And as one team returns to the NOJHL, the league is reacting to another team leaving. Thursday, the owners of the Sudbury Cubs announced they were forfeiting their franchise to pursue other options. The league's commissioner, Rob Mazuka, saying in a statement over the weekend, "While we are disappointed by this decision, we respect the organization's choice to determine the direction it believes is best for the future." The statement went on to thank players, volunteers, billets, and fans for supporting the club. The Cubs ownership announced they would be leaving the league just hours after the schedule for the upcoming season was released. Mazuka's statement saying the league remains committed to player development, community engagement, and competitive excellence. In the Ontario Hockey League, the Sioux Greyhounds have announced a new assistant head coach. Steve O'Rourke will be behind the bench with Drew Bannister this season. O'Rourke coached the Seattle Torrent to the PWHL last season. This is the second coaching change the club has made in the offseason. They parted ways with longtime coach John Dean back in April. Spain is on top of the soccer universe after beating Argentina to take home the World Cup. That was the magic moment that clinched the championship for Spain. Ferran Torres finding the back the goal to score in extra time despite the 1-0 scoreline. The game wasn't that close. Spain dominated play and Argentina didn't register a shot until extra time.
The champions of the world are Spain!
It's Spain's second World Cup title. It's also the current holder of the Women's World Cup and European Championship. Argentina's superstar Lionel Messi was left in tears, but it's unclear if this marks his final appearance on the world stage. Argentina's loss also means no team has repeated as World Cup champions since Brazil in 1962.
Vamos España! Vamos!
And this was the scene in Madrid today as thousands of fans gathered to see the team parade through the city's historic streets. The win made Spain the first country to hold both men's and women's World Cup trophies simultaneously. Well, it seems like summer vacation just started, but some parents are already thinking about back-to-school shopping. And the lists are long and the costs are getting higher. Here's CTV's Denise Roberts.
The back-to-school displays are up and parents are out looking for deals.
A lot of erasers, Sharpies, pens, pencils, colors, highlighters, Scotch tape, and the list goes on.
It all adds up, especially when there's multiplication involved.
I'm buying for two, and it was about $130, and I'm not done.
We don't have a choice, says this parent. If our child arrives at school without them, we'll get a note telling us what's missing and what we need to buy. But more families are having a hard time affording what's on those lists, according to Anne-Marie Etier of Regroupement Partage.
When you have to choose between paying your bills, between paying your rent, or with feeding your family, you know, school supplies down the list.
The nonprofit's Operation Sac à Dos campaign outfits children in need with a lunchbox and backpack filled with everything from calculators to pens and notebooks. Etier says since the pandemic, the demand for their services has surged, even in households where both parents are employed.
So this year we're helping 12,000 kids throughout the provinces, but this is not nearly close as the demands. So we could be helping 6 times that much children.
And while the goods packed in here are valued at $185, the cost of sending kids back to school is far more. The Retail Council of Canada estimates the average cost, including electronics, runs between $600 and $750 per child. And parents are feeling the pressure, according to their annual school shopping survey.
When we look at the main sentiment themes that came out of the survey, definitely affordability was that defining issue. In fact, as I said, more than 9 in 10 parents say that it feels more expensive, with 53% actually telling us it's a lot more expensive.
While other factors like inflation may be adding to the load, Etier says programs like Operation Sac à Dos are needed to ease the burden for parents and their kids.
It gives them a lot of confidence. it puts them on the same pedestal as their friend when they start the year.
Giving them the tools to succeed. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
Finally for us tonight, a popular summer tradition took place yesterday in Sudbury on Lake Wahnapitae. It was bittersweet as Canadian singer-songwriter Larry Berrio hosted his 10th and final year of Berrio on the Sandbanks. It's a special concert on the water along the scenic sandbanks of Lake Wahnapitae. Hundreds of boaters anchored off to enjoy the show. This year, Naked Soul performed as special guest. Looks like it must have been a fun time. Way to go. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Monday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. And we're on YouTube now. Search for the CTV News channel and subscribe to the Northern Ontario feed. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching. Good night.